Yeah, when I found out about having the type 1 diabetes, it was a huge shock. I basically Googled the symptoms because I was feeling like I was really, really ill, and I wasn't exactly sure why. So I Googled everything I was feeling, and then it popped up diabetic. So then I was like, no way. And I went to the doctor the next day, asked to be tested for diabetes, and they said, yes, I was diabetic. My sugar was like around 700. So initially, I think it was just kind of a shock. It was kind of like, okay, it's diabetes. I take medicine for that. I thought it was like type 2. Then I found out the reality of it, and I got to the hospital, and then they were showing me that I'm gonna have shots to take every time I eat. So that was just huge wake-up call. Not wake-up call, just huge shock. So yeah.
Type 1 or type 2?
Type 1. Yeah, type 1 diabetic. So no pills. I have to take insulin all the time. So that was huge. And then I think I was initially just shocked, and then I started to kind of accept it, and then I just realized what I had ahead of me, the long road, and then that's when I instantly just started researching holistic ways of treating it, and so that's what got me on this path. So I tried the high-fat diet, and initially everything was going good. But I was on a very strict protocol. All I was able to have were oils, avocados, and green juices and green smoothies. Absolutely no fruits, no cooked anything, nothing. So basically no carbs. So I lived like that for 4 months. And for the first month, yes, I was feeling great. But the key to that is I actually wasn't needing any insulin at all. And I think the reason why is that I found this type of lifestyle so quickly after my diagnosis. It was not sustainable. I started feeling horrible. I was getting cloudy thinking. I felt like I was gonna faint. I was fatigued all the time. I feel like I was like dying. And I lost like 25 pounds within like a month. It was just really not sustainable. I actually feel really blessed that I went through this situation and like the whole cycle that my life has taken me, because I feel that now I am able to help others who do have the type 1 diabetes, and hopefully not make the same mistakes that I made, because I've been there and it seems so glamorous in the beginning. No insulin, or super low amount of insulin, sounds so shiny and like, yes, I want to go that route. But when you experience that with a little bit of time, you realize just how damaging it is. And by losing that much weight that quickly, because I was always at a normal weight, and then losing that much weight that quickly, and then going off that diet, I gained it back plus more, and then it's been a constant struggle to even be able to get that off now because of what happened. So that's a huge thing. I would say that that's what is likely to happen. And then so I would advise them to definitely switch to more of a high carb, low fat diet. Because you're just feeding every part of your body, like your mind, your spirit, and your body. And I was going slightly crazy when I was on the high fat diet. I was just going crazy in my mind. I didn't know what was wrong with me. Then I would binge, and I just didn't know. I never had any of these behaviors ever. And then all of a sudden, for like a whole year, I was just going crazy in my mind, and I was acting out in ways with food that I had never acted out. And then I just started researching, and then that's what led me to more of a high carb, fruit-based vegan diet. And as soon as I made that switch, I felt like I was completely healed mentally and emotionally, and physically that's still in the process. But for me, that's why I am so consistent and like wanting to stick with this, because of the emotional healing that's had. And I can only imagine what my body will be doing in time. So the past 4 months, I've just been doing nothing but watching YouTube videos about this type of lifestyle. So I've been dabbling and experimenting for the past 4 months with this type of diet. So I'm very, very aware of it, and I know lots of like the concepts of it, but I wasn't practicing it perfectly at home at all. I was doing mostly low fat vegan, and I was sticking to a lot of like grains and cooked vegan foods. Then I would try and dabble with just going all raw for like several days, and I would work, but I still had the fat in the cells and in my diet, and so I wasn't seeing the results that I was hearing that I would be able to get. So it was really difficult for me to do this lifestyle on my own at being a type 1 diabetic. So that's definitely why I chose to come here to learn the science behind it and how to implement it on my own, and that's definitely what I've gotten while being here. Here with none of that, no overt fats?
Yeah, overt fats.
Yeah, so no overt fats. and just strictly high carb, it's been, yeah, my blood sugars respond perfectly, and my insulin ratio has increased hugely. Before it was around like 1 to 10, and now I'm up around like 1 to 20, 1 to 22. Yeah, decreased my Lantus from 14 units down to 9 or 10. I'm experimenting with that. I feel incredibly clear. Like I was dabbling with 80-10-10 a little bit. I wasn't quite getting the results, and I was kind of wondering why. And I just, the main concept is really realizing how little fat as a diabetic, as a type 1 diabetic, it's the most important key in the whole entire world. And especially coming from a diet with such high fat, it was really hard to transition to now this with like none, or very little. But realizing that main concept, the least amount of fat in the diet, it just allows the insulin to enter your cells and control the blood sugar. The moment you add the fat into the diet, it just is like this barrier around the cell, and then when you try and inject your insulin, it just can't get in as well, and you're giving more and more, and then that's when you have the issues. And I have it. Yeah.
You really do understand it well.
Yeah, I do, and that's probably one of the biggest takeaways is how well I understand it, and I want to be able to educate others, because so many people just think if they see me eating bananas, they're like, why are you doing that to yourself? And it's just like, let me explain.